Jaxson Dart has become one of the most polarizing players in this draft, with the narrative on his value all over the place. Reports have come out saying many in the NFL view Dart as the quarterback 2, and some even have him in competition for the top spot on their boards, while everyone in media seems to think he's clearly a round 2 or 3 guy. And famed NFL draft analyst Matt Miller even saying there are only 2 starting quarterbacks in this class, with Dart not being one of them. PFF also has him outside of their top 100 players in the draft, which is ludicrous because by their own advanced stats and grades, he's clearly one of the top guys of the year. This reminds me of basically the inverse of opinions and reports on Malik Willis from a few years ago. Everyone in media wanted him to go pick 2 overall to the Lions, while the NFL let him fall to round 3, and I'd say the NFL was right about that one. I think if the reports on Jaxson Dart are true, that he's in the conversation as the number 1 guy, then the NFL is going to be proven right again, because Dart is so obviously a superstar prospect with incredible highs and very rare lows. Just to prove I'm not on the bandwagon here, I want to show you my notes that won't make sense to anyone watching, but the takeaway is the date, January 12th, and this number grade here, a 94, would put Dart in my top 5 in any draft class, and tied with Cam Ward for second best prospect of this class. So when I share my thoughts on his film, upsides and downsides, you can know this isn't clickbait. This is my real thoughts. If I'm terribly wrong and he sucks after a year, you can come back to absolutely roast me for being a fool, and if I'm right, well, I'm sure everyone will just happen to forget that, of course. Now, the reason I fell so in love with Dart's game in the first place was his incredible ball placement downfield and in tight windows. In all of FBS football, Dart is 5th in big-time throw percentage at 7.1%. which is above Ward and Sanders, by the way. A big-time throw, according to PFF, is a pass with excellent ball location and timing thrown deep downfield or in tight windows. So there are 2 examples for this, and Dart is absolutely elite at both. When it comes to the downfield ball location, Dart can only be matched by Cam Ward in this class. Shedeur Sanders, Quinn Ewers, and all the rest are not even close. I mean, just look at this pass against Arkansas, for example. You can see his perfect ball placement upfield dropped right into the receiver's chest at full speed. The Arkansas corner really can't play this any better. He is so tight to the inside hip, running step for step with the receiver, that this is an easy pass breakup or interception if Dart floats this just a hair inside. However, Dart hits his guy in stride away from the corner, and with such perfect accuracy, it allows his receiver to maintain speed after the catch to break this off for a touchdown. Dart is so good about leading his guys to create yards after the catch and not giving any defender in tight coverage a chance at hands on the ball. He also has great ball placement on tight window throws in the intermediate and short range, which opens up an offense to target all 3 levels of the field. So his offense doesn't have to scheme a guy wide open or tailor to his skill set like Russell Wilson, only attacking deep downfield or on the perimeter. Dart has the confidence and accuracy to make NFL throws against NFL coverage in the middle of the field to keep the chains moving. And these are throws Dart makes every single Saturday without fail. He is not only first in the class in big-time throws, but also first in yards per attempt at 10.7, which highlights his confidence and aggressiveness to actually attack a defense and not just try to get easy completions underneath. He was ultra aggressive while only throwing 6 interceptions though, which is fewer than Ward and Sanders. So he's not reckless, he's just extremely talented with accuracy down the field. This is not the same guy as number 2 from Ole Miss a few years ago in Matt Corral. Do not let media pundits be lazy and make that comparison, because Dart has thrown almost twice as many downfield and tight window shots. Dart elevated this Lane Kiffin offense well beyond the standard system. No system can make you complete passes like this. Only talent and confidence can do that. There are 2 more aspects of Dart's game that I think will absolutely translate to a difference maker at quarterback for an NFL team. First being Dart's extreme poise and toughness under pressure. We see a lot of NFL quarterbacks cannot stand strong and deliver big shots downfield with pressure in their face. Sam Darnold, for example, was embarrassed in his final 2 games of the year when defenses were able to get him uncomfortable in the pocket. Dart is never uncomfortable in the pocket. I mean, just watch as South Carolina is breathing down his neck and this linebacker comes full speed to crush him with one of the biggest legal shots you can take on a quarterback. But Dart just takes a tiny step away from the running back, being pushed back into his lap, and he steps into this throw despite the linebacker coming for blood. And the result is a beautifully placed ball 15 yards downfield against good coverage, leading to a 28-yard gain. This toughness and poise is one of the biggest question marks for college quarterbacks making the transition to the NFL. But Dart has already proven himself in this area. Just look at the statistics and they'll back me up. When under pressure, he's second in big-time throw percentage, first in yards per attempt, fourth in PFF passing grade, and first in average depth of target with an absurd 17.7 yards per attempt. I don't even know how to comprehend that number, to be honest. He's also first in yards per attempt when blitzed, with an elite passer rating of 116.3 while having a quicker time to throw when blitzed than both Sanders and Ward. As a matter of fact, every statistic I listed, he beat Sanders and Ward in. No quarterback in the class is tougher and more successful in the pocket when facing pressure or a blitz. Now, before we look at his last game-changing ability, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that like button. It helps my small channel a ton and it'll make sure you don't miss out on all my other draft content coming up. Okay, back to Jaxson Dart. His elite ball placement and poise under pressure will give him a chance to have major success early in the NFL. But then you tack onto that his mobility, and I can see Dart having a Rookie of the Year campaign completely changing an offense's identity right away. He has great acceleration for a quarterback. Not good, but great. Ole Miss has used him as a major part of their run game for 3 years, tallying 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 4 yards a carry. They designed many quarterback draws, Q powers, and option runs for Dart because they knew athletically he can make a big play. And he has the toughness to handle the physicality. 3 of the NFL's best teams all use the quarterback rushing game as a huge part of their offense this year because it changes how you can guard an offense. You leave 2 safeties high against a running quarterback and you're going to be outmanned in the box. Put an extra guy in the box against a guy like Dart, and he will eat you alive downfield. Dart is the future face of a franchise for just this reason. There is no simple way to stop this guy. Despite what people will say on Twitter, he is not a system quarterback. No system can make a quarterback deadly accurate at all levels of the field while being lethal in the run game. Dart can also do the other necessary things for an NFL quarterback, like make anticipation throws before a receiver is out of his break, or just generally play with good timing in an offense. He can make full field reads, like on this play, where he works from the left to the right, working through all 4 of his reads to find the open man. He can make great touch throws to beat zone coverage by dropping it right over a linebacker and right under a safety. He can throw a fastball into the zone gaps before his receiver drifts into another defender's area. Jaxson Dart can thrive in every single aspect of the game, and he's clearly in that same elite tier as all the other top quarterbacks of the past 10 drafts. I'll admit Caleb Williams' ability on the move is in a category by itself, but the rest of these guys that everyone loved, like Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence, and Kyler Murray, should all be in that same realm as Dart, especially when you take into account Dart's elite competitiveness. He reminds me of Baker Mayfield the way he will put his body on the line. He competes with passion and it elevates his teammates. Ole Miss staffers say he is one of the greatest leaders they've been around, and I encourage you to listen to this guy mic'd up on Ole Miss sidelines so you can see why. Cam Ward is a special prospect with incredible arm talent and great poise in the pocket as well, but mark my words, Dart is just as dangerous, potentially more so with his rushing ability and fierce passion for the game. He's not perfect. He's had some perplexing lows, like against Florida where he threw 2 interceptions in the final 2 minutes to lose the game. But watch his tape. Look at his stats. I promise you, these lows are so rare. Jaxson Dart deserves to go 2nd overall, to change the Browns organization. I'd argue maybe even first to the Titans. If the NFL lets this guy fall behind Shedeur Sanders or somehow out of the first round, then general managers will lose jobs over passing on the obvious superstar, because the face of some team's franchise will without question be Jaxson Dart. If you want to see a breakdown on Shedeur Sanders, then make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my thoughts. Is he a top 10 pick or a day 2 backup? Also, comment below if there are any other prospects you want to see me break down. I'd love to hear from you guys. Please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel a ton. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.